Hi, I'm Jason Franks, and I'm going to read from my short story The Language of Birds, which is in Clan Destine Press's new anthology, Clamour and Mischief. This scene picks up with Jacob, our 9-year-old protagonist, hiding in the library from some Hebrew school bullies. At recess, he was the last to leave the classroom. Dawdling in the safety of the foyer, Jacob noticed that a door opposite the synagogue entrance was ajar, the library. Jacob had been in the library before, but it had not been memorable. It had only 3 short aisles full of boring books about kashrut or Torah commentary written by a succession of bickering, long-dead rabbis. Still, it was better than being force-fed gravel by Robbie Steinberg. Jacob browsed the stacks in the vain hopes that he would find some hidden Hardy Boys or Famous Five adventures, but there was nothing good. Bored, he investigated the librarian's unattended desk, the card catalog, the lectern in the corner covered with a burgundy velvet cloth. There was nothing interesting under the cloth, but while he was messing with it, Jacob saw a door he hadn't noticed earlier. It was unlocked. Jacob didn't think he was allowed to be in the library, but he definitely wasn't allowed to go through that door. Out in the hall, he heard voices. One of them sounded like Robbie Steinberg. Jacob went through the door and closed it behind him. The new room was the same size as the library, but it was brighter due to the presence of a window. It held only a single bookshelf, a dusty couch, dirty teacups in the sink. Hoping to find some biscuits, Jacob checked the cupboard, but it was locked. Jacob sighed and went to look at the books. At least there were more legal tomes or commentaries. On one shelf, he found an ornithologist's guide beside 2 volumes of the Book of Kings. Next to that, the Acts of Solomon, the Claves Solemnis, incomprehensible to him in Latin, versions of the Kebran Agas in Arabic and Ge'ez, a Quran heavily bookmarked, Midrash HaHafez in Hebrew, the Conference of Birds, written in Arabic side by side with an English translation. Grah! Jacob! Jacob turned away from the shelves so clumsily he almost lost his balance. A crow was sitting on the windowsill. He stared at it, and it stared back, blinking. Jesus, you scared me. Jesus is not relevant to this discussion, said the crow. Its voice was perfectly human, and its accent was familiar. Sorry, said Jacob, more embarrassed to have disappointed the animal than to be talking to it. The crow ruffled its feathers and shook its bill. I'm here to help you, it said, but you must control your tongue. Sorry. Jacob scratched an ear. How can you help me anyway? You're a bird. A bird who can speak your language. Give me some credit. Okay, said Jacob. But what can you help me with? It said that King Solomon could speak the language of birds, and so gained magical powers, said the crow. I've never heard about Solomon having any powers, Jacob replied. The crow angled its head. But you've heard of talking crows, have you, boy chick? Before Jacob could respond, it said, if we could teach old Shlomo mind control, I'm pretty sure I can teach you a bit of Hebrew. Jacob shook his head. Magic bird or not, he knew it couldn't be that easy. The words don't just stay in my head, no matter how hard I try, he said. You're concentrating too much, said the bird. Language isn't just sounds and letters. Don't think, listen, speak. Sometimes you have to let your mouth run before your brain is engaged. I don't get it. I thought I had to control my tongue. You're trying to drag another language behind your thinking, said the crow. But language is too heavy, momentum is against you. Let language lead if you want the fruit. But I don't want fruit, said Jacob. Grah! Said the crow, and flew away.